Look at those roses. Maria must spend all day on them.
In a neighborhood where rules were strict but secrets were darker, one discovery proved that the scariest monsters were living
Look at those
right
roses.
next
Maria
door.
must spend all
The
day
morning
on.
sunlight felt peaceful until I opened my mailbox. Inside was a small envelope from the HOA. No explanation, no warning. In that moment, I knew something wasn't right about this neighborhood. As I walked back toward my house, I noticed a shadow in the second-floor window across the street, like someone was watching me. But the moment I blinked, the silhouette disappeared. Before noon, another notice arrived. Grass-length violation. Impossible. I had cut the lawn yesterday. Why were these complaints suddenly appearing? Was someone targeting me? I decided to confront the HOA president, but when I reached the street corner, she was already standing there, smiling at me like she knew I was coming. I asked her for the previous complaints filed under my name. She claimed there were many, but when she opened the folder, every page was missing, completely empty. She looked at me nervously, trying to hide something. On my way home, my neighbor Mr. Collins stood near his gate. He usually chats nonstop, but today he just stared at me. No smile, no words, no blinking, like he already knew what I was uncovering. As I locked my gate, I noticed a tiny black dot on the hinge. I leaned closer. It wasn't a screw, it was a micro camera. Someone had installed surveillance on my property without permission. Panicking, I called the HOA office. The phone rang once, then disconnected. I tried again. Number not in service. But their office was just 4 houses down. Who shut the line off? I stepped outside for air and saw fresh footprints in the dust on my driveway. They led straight toward my lawn. Someone had been there moments before I came out. When I lifted my head, I saw a window 3 houses down, slightly open. Curtains moved softly in the breeze. Someone was inside. Someone watching me in broad daylight.
At 2 p.m., while I was checking the garden, I heard a faint scraping sound near the fence. It wasn't the wind, and it wasn't a pet. Someone or something was trying to get through. I walked closer and found the gate slightly ajar. The magnetic lock had been tampered with. That's when I realized this was no coincidence. Someone had deliberately come onto my property. As I peered into the pasture, our bull, Titan, emerged from the barn. He wasn't charging, just staring. Massive and gray-white in the sun, he was calm, but you could feel the power in his stance. Through the tall grass, I saw him, the HOA compliance officer, clipboard in hand, tiptoeing. He didn't see Titan yet. I could almost hear him thinking he was stealthy. He stepped into the pasture and the gate clicked shut behind him. Titan stopped, sniffed the air, and advanced slowly. The compliance officer froze. For the first time, I think he understood he wasn't in control. When he retreated into the barn, he found something unexpected, a waterproof box tucked under a floorboard. Inside were files labeled Project Skyline, emails, surveys, and plans, evidence of HOA corruption. As he read, his smug expression vanished. He realized he had been a pawn, harassing innocent people to help a developer steal land. For the first time, fear replaced compliance. Suddenly, a black SUV stopped at the roadside. 2 men in dark jackets jumped out carrying tools. The officer panicked, realizing he was trapped between the bull and unknown intruders. And then Houdini, the goat, appeared. Somehow, she was inside the barn. She charged at the intruders, giving the officer enough distraction to act. She moved like she belonged in 2 places at once. He climbed aloft, spotted the tractor, and jumped. The old Massey Ferguson roared to life, black smoke filling the barn. He drove straight through the back wall, holding the files like treasure. Outside, my dad and I were waiting, with a shotgun and spotlight. The intruders froze. The bull stomped behind them. We didn't call the cops yet. On our farm, trespassers meet the truth first. The files went to the state police. The HOA president, Patricia Sterling, was arrested days later. Vance, the compliance officer, stayed with us, managing the farm books. Even Titan and Vance formed an unlikely bond. Now we live surrounded by rules, but with eyes open. Nature doesn't follow straight lines, and neither does the truth. The sign on the fence reads now, Ironwood Ranch. Compliance officers will be fed to the bull. Mostly a joke, but it makes you wonder.